be more
the Forbes.
The Forbes top metal bands list wasn't that bad.
When I think
No,
of metal,
it's not really.
The first company I think of that should rank these things is Forbes.
Yeah, Forbes is where you go to get your metal.
Yeah.
Well, what was the other one from Forbes that I sent you guys a couple weeks ago? I think it was. They rated something else like death metal or something. It was really bad. But this one was good.
It cleaned up the image pretty good for me, actually.
Yeah, actually.
It was Forbes picking like the best metal guitarist or something. It was really bad. So but this wasn't.
This list here, I'm kind of surprised because it kind of hits everything.
It does.
So you got Carcass 38. That's your death metal, like European death metal chops.
Yeah.
Right.
You got At the Gates. That gives you your kind of melodic metal type of, where like In Flames kind of came from that.
Yep.
Then you got Exodus, of course. They're of thrash legends. Need no introduction.
Yep.
Behemoth. They're like that. They're like, I guess I'm doing quote black metal, but they're kind of like homogenized black metal, but they're still black metal. And then Napalm Death, of course.
Yeah.
You got your vegan death metal chops there. I don't know who Caius is.
Caius is Josh Homme's first band.
Is it really?
Yeah, that was Queens before it was Queens.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's just I hate I like the lead singer's voice.
Yeah, well, for a while it was Mark Lanigan from Screaming Trees.
Someone's a little high pitched. I don't
know. Yeah, that's the original guy. Yeah. Mark Lanigan did some stuff with him though, on and off.
Be better.
Stoner metal.
Yeah.
Desert.
Yeah,
metal.
Stoner. Yeah.
Yeah. I never liked stoner metal all that much. That's going to summon Phil because he loves Weed Eater and.
I mean, the groove is good. It's just that guy's voice killed me. I was like, nope. 1 Inch Man, a couple other songs I can't do it.
And then you got Dream Theater, not a fan, but you got your prog chops.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on there.
Fantastic musicians, blah, blah, blah.
They've forgotten more about their instruments than I'll ever know, but I don't like their music.
I think they're coming on a 40-year tour since they started. Is that right?
Yeah.
About 40 years?
That's how long it takes to learn one song.
Dream Theater?
Yeah.
Their first album came out in like 91.
Oh, okay. Must be
90 or 90, like around 90, 91. No, actually, I think it was 92. So it had to be like 30 years, but
no, 40. I know that, but it wasn't them then. No, formed in 1985.
Oh, well, the first album that ever hit, I know, was like 90 or 91. I don't recall. So yeah.
This is when we formed. Let's do a 40-year thing, even though.
Well, I mean, technically, this year is 50 years of Maiden coming up, but they didn't record anything for. They formed in '75. That was just Steve Harris and a few people.
Yeah, it's not that Steve Harris, but
a different one.
We did go to school with Steve Harris. So.
Yeah,
very common first and last name.
Yes. No, that's not very white at all.
So
the Forbes thing's weird because the Forbes thing. What's with why 38?
I don't know. The next probably computer generated. Then they got Nightwish, which is your artistic Euro metal with the hot chick singer.
Yeah.
Not really a fan, but I get it. Got to put him on there. King Diamond, legend. Not something I listen to a lot of, but he's a legend.
Great music, but the high pitch, was never my thing. But he did
hard as he was fucked up for a while, and he's good.
Through metal helped him, like he metaled it out of his body.
Yeah. He yelled, "Ah!"
It just explodes out.
Cleared his heart.
Yeah. My aorta is clear now.
Then Danzig. I don't know why he's on here at all. He's not metal, and I think Danzig would tell you he's not metal. He's like,
no.
He started out as punk, and then he was just kind of dark rock, really. But whatever.
Yeah.
Converge. That's your noisecore, discordant, screaming.
Yep.
Kind of. They definitely should be on there because of for what they do. There's like a million bands that sound like them after. So they kind of started a scene.
Yeah.
If you start a genre, I'll give you your spot. Cannibal Corpse, probably maybe not the greatest death metal band, but the most recognized. Everybody knows Cannibal Corpse. They're probably the top known. If you ask a person that's not a metalhead, tell me a death metal band, they'll say Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Most known death metal band, period. Anthrax, yes. They're one of the big four. Sure,
Yeah.
put them on there. They invented rap rock. Put them on.
State of Euphoria is a fantastic album.
Yep. Great band. Meshuggah, technical gent. The style's called gent, would stop and go real quick. Technical drums. They invented it. So yes, Meshuggah. Machine Head, never was a big fan of them, but
nope.
I don't know why they're on there, but whatever.
Nope. Me neither.
Rob
Me
Flynn,
neither.
Really likes to beef with people, so we'll just move along instead of get a fight going.
Yeah, right. Let's not do that.
Lamb of God, I like Lamb of God. They're a great band. No argument there. Mastodon, they got a couple good songs. They're trippy, moody, kind of proggy.
Yeah.
I guess the other Sepultura, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, have them on there.
Word.
The greatest, like, South American speed metal, thrash metal band. In my opinion, they're like as good as any of the big four. In my opinion.
Yeah.
They're right up there with them.
Yep.
Typo Negative, great band, but are they metal? I guess.
Well, they were a metal band that turned goth metal.
Yeah, they were when they were Carnivore.
Well, actually, the first album's pretty heavy. I mean, it's starting to there's gothic parts of it, but the songs themselves are, unsuccessfully coping with the natural laws of infidelity.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy song.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. You know what? I only know when they were, when like, Christian Woman and Black.
Yeah, that's the second album.
I was a Studio Gangster fan of theirs. I wasn't into the deep,
Yeah, that second album, with Christian Woman, what Bloody Kisses. That's kind of what put them on the map. They started getting radio play. But that first album, Slow, Deep, and Hard, it's very long songs. But
he does do a death metal growl on Christian Woman, though.
Yeah, when you hear like the songs on that first album, he's like screaming. It's fast. It's thrash metal.
Yeah.
And then just kicks in, and then it goes into these breakdowns of like goth keyboard and just doom sounding bass and guitar.
Yeah.
And then goes, it's I love that album. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 38. For sure, I wouldn't put him in the top 38. What am I saying?
And then you got Motorhead, of course. They're like again, not something.
Motorhead's 19.
Yeah. Yeah, Motorhead's on there.
Yeah.
They're probably the first speed metal band.
They're pioneers. They should be higher.
Yeah.
Whether you like them, whether you're into them or not, they should be higher because they're pioneers.
Yeah. Plus, they were on a Saturday morning kid show in England in 1985.
Yes.
And Lemmy's Mole should be in the top 10.
Yeah, top 10.
So then you got Death. Of course, I agree with them being on the list.
Not the Black brothers from Detroit who are punk.
No.
Death.
This is Chuck Schuldiner. Death.
Yes, Chuck Schuldiner.
The innovator of death metal. Of course, when you invent a style, you get to be on the list, as we've said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ronnie James Dio, of course, the legend himself.
All 5'3" of them.
One of the few famous people as short as my dad.
Yep.
So got to have him on there.
And he was actually a little taller than one of the guys in Anthrax.
Oh yeah,
Danny Spitz was only like 5'1".
I saw that. And there's a picture of him with Chris Holmes. Chris Holmes is like 6'5" or 6.
Yeah.
They're just way different.
Well, he's short because he's shorter than Scott Ian.
Yeah, and Scott Ian's short.
Yeah, he's 5'4" maybe.
Here, number 16, you got Megadeth. I would, of course, absolutely agree with Megadeth. And this is one of the few lists where they're exactly where they need to be. They always put Megadeth like right under Metallica. Dave is a legend. Dave, gave them a run for their money for, but I never thought they were like top. They're always like top 5, top 10.
No,
they're not that. Dave is a legend. He's a top 20 guy.
16. That's a good spot for him.
Yeah, that's perfectly where they belong.
Yep.
Gojira, I like the band a lot. They're a little higher than I would put them just because of how long, they've been around a while, but some of these other guys are around longer, did a little more.
Right.
But they're a good band. I can't they got played at the Olympics. I mean, I guess when you get featured at the Olympics, I guess you get to be on the list.
Sure.
Well, they're French.
Yeah. Korn, absolutely. When you invent a style, no matter how you feel about them, they invented that style.
First album is amazing.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't really. The first album, though, yeah, I didn't even know the album. I went and saw Monster Magnet. They were co-headlining with them in 1994, and I saw them play. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
They were a band, like when they first come out. I didn't really like them because I didn't know about their first album. I think they came out when it was like Got the Life and Life is Peachy. That was I was like, they're okay, but I really wasn't. But when I retroactively went back and listened, I was like, holy shit, this first album is great.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Me and Mike Tabe, we went and saw them with Monster Magnet and Grotus, this other band who had a little midget dude singing for him.
Yeah.
He was like 5'4" or 3 or something. He was a little dude.
Really?
But yeah, so we saw Korn, and he knew about one song, Blind. That was the only one. It had been played on the radio. And the dude he worked with, him and his little brother were into him. And they were like, "You're going to love this show." And they were at the show. And then we saw him play, and I bought the tape the next day.
Oh, nice.
Like, I didn't hesitate. I was at Hot Hits the next day before I went to work. Because all they had was that first album, so they just played they played the whole thing because they were co-headlining with Monster Magnet. So
they had an innovative sound.
Dude, it was the show. Like, well, we never saw dudes like with all they all had like dreads and cornrows, and they were their lighting was so freaky. They all looked like monsters, but I was like, dude, I don't think they're wearing much makeup, man. They just look freaky as fuck.
Yeah, they're just dudes from Bakersfield.
Yeah. And then you find out they're from like fucking crappy Bakersfield.
Bakersfield is like, it's kind of, the culture is kind of cholo, kind of cowboy, kind of redneck. It's like all mixed of these people.
That's where Dwight Yoakam.
And then there's a bunch of farms everywhere.
Yeah.
And grape farms and
literally their ethnic makeup is that they're part Mexican, part cowboy, part so they fucking fit. They look like dudes from Bakersfield.
What were you saying, Brian? Who was from there?
Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah, but like all that outlaw
he's known for his Bakersfield sound, but
because the outlaw country, Merle and all those guys, they I don't know if they all started there, but like that's kind of like where they created a sound at.
Well, a lot of people are not aware of like California outside of LA and outside of the coast was very like fucking like a Western, man. It was
Or
any like you think Any Which Way But Loose, that movie? I thought that was like filmed in like Idaho or something. No, dude, that's fucking that's near Bakersfield. They filmed a lot of
Most of California is like just desert and then farmland and
Dwight Yoakam was born in Pikeville. We know that.
Right.
Kentucky. Did you know that, Mike?
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
But he was not raised there. They moved a lot, and he basically predominantly he identifies with Bakersfield.
Okay.
And that sound and everything, and that's what his sound.
You know what? I think he does have a sign. You know, when you go down 23, it's called Country Music Highway because you got Loretta
Lynn,
and you got Ricky Skaggs, and a bunch of them got.
Ricky Skaggs, no relation to Boz Skaggs.
Yeah, a bunch of them guys, but yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so I'm sorry about that whole.
No,
Korn though. I think I like the first couple albums. Obviously,
I think everybody did.
First two, Life is Peachy's great. Better now than
I never really listened to it a lot. I don't really I don't poo on it. I just didn't really listen to it a lot. The first album's great.
changed from the first one to the Life is Peachy, and then changed even more to Follow the Leader. But
yeah,
that was pretty much it for him. After Follow the Leader, I didn't really listen to him anymore. Anyways, I still love their old stuff, just none of the new stuff clicked.
right.
Then at 13,
13,
you got Rammstein.
love it.
They should be there because when they're the top singing German band of all time.
Yeah.
Not just metal, just of all time. Put them on the list. When you do something unique, you get to be on the list.
Yeah, and they have longevity too. What's it been, almost 30 years since they got started? A little bit more, actually.
Yep.
So why not?
Deftones, I don't know that they're metal, but I guess they're a good enough name.
Definitely early on. Later on, definitely not.
They're good enough. Again, when people copy what you do over and over again, you are legendary.
Yeah.
So
is a diva on here?
I remember Brian. You guys remember when we were playing out with our great band Scarnack?
Yes.
Every other band was trying to sound like Deftones.
Oh yeah.
They were all doing the drop tuning, like slow beginning screaming part. They were all doing the Deftones,
like a drop D type tuning,
which I never got because I don't like them at all.
No, I know you didn't.
No. I mean, like, I did hear a little bit of their early stuff that was heavy and heavier. I was like, okay, but I've just never been into them.
The funny thing is, my guitar player Jeff, who hated every band and thought everyone was terrible, he liked that song "Bored."
Oh yeah,
that's a good song, and I did like "Bored" too.
Yeah.
So, they got System of a Down. Sure, they were unique sounding. I don't know. I would have them at 11.
No.
But I could see them being on the list.
Top 38, sure. Because they developed they created their sound and yeah.
Now here's a band where I'm probably going to surprise everybody because I do not like their singer.
No.
I never could stand him, even though he seems like a sweetheart of a guy, and he's big and he probably kicked my ass. But Avenged Sevenfold is 10. I don't know that they would have him at 10, but I will surprise you and say they should be on the list, and here's why. They were the only metal band like on commercial radio for like 10 years.
True.
Yeah.
That was just them.
Should be on the list. That's a little too high.
Yeah, they're a little too high. Their drummer that passed away, Rev, he was a great drummer.
Great.
Yeah, he was.
Guitar players are great. I like everything about the band. M Shadow's Mike, but I think he fucked his vocals up, though, to be fair. Something happened to his vocal cords.
Yeah.
But he has that raspy sound. But he's a millionaire and I'm not, so fuck me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right. They're on the list and I ain't, so Mike gets the last laugh.
Yeah.
And they should be on the list, just not 10, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tool, not a metal band. I don't know why they're not here, but great band. Number 9.
Yeah.
I don't think Tool is a metal band. Do you, Al?
No.
Progressive.
No. I mean, go back again to that first EP before Undertow. It's really heavy.
Yeah.
There's definitely metal influence, but they're not a metal band.
I think they're like a bridge of that metal, a little bit of that metal sensibilities with.
Yeah, it's like
with like fucking Dream Theater.
They're progressive. Yeah,
phenomenal musicians.
They're kind of a mix of the two, and they're definitely the most commercial of any of those two.
Yeah,
kind of
I guess I would say that I have no problem with them being on here, not at 9. But because they created like a style of their own, even though like to me, like it all just kind of sounds the same.
Yeah.
Like when they put out a new album and everybody gets excited, I'm like, it's just gonna be like dink dink dink, and he's gonna be
There's new symbology. He's trying to tell me that this is happening.
You're gonna get like 7-minute songs.
And nothing against him, because like Maynard is awesome. The dude owns a winery. He's like a very
Danny Carey is
he gets voted like best drummer all the time.
He's a great drummer. I mean, Justin Chancellor's a great bass player. I mean, they're all great musicians.
There's a little bit of metalness in there, but it's not. It's more. You're right. It's more progressive.
Now the next band at number 8. I don't really know if I consider them metal.
Never heard of them.
I don't really know if they should be on this list. Okay, I'm kidding. Slayer absolutely fucking belongs on this list.
They're thrash.
Slayer belongs on any fucking list ever about metal.
Yeah.
And they're top 10, which they should be. They're the greatest band ever in terms of they haven't changed. We do this. This is what we do. It's going to sound like Slayer, We're gonna punch you in the dick. There's gonna be.
I found coverage from the show they just did.
Yeah.
Somebody posted some of it. They fucking sounded amazing.
Did they really?
Yes. Tom was out there just Tom was just screaming at the top of his lungs. He sounded fucking great.
Yeah.
And then Gary's been posting. Gary posted he had the grandkids backstage and they had the headphones on. And he's like, all my kids and now 2 of my grandkids, they've all seen me. He goes, this is the first time they got to see Grandpa do what he does. I was like, that's so fucking cool, dude. Grandpa playing a Slayer show, bringing his grandkids to the show.
Like, I gotta go on stage, kids. I'll see you in a few minutes. And
they're
tear shit up.
Slayer never tried to trick you. We're gonna go this direction. No, they're Slayer the whole time.
Yep.
All the time. Like Henry Rollins said, he goes, when you go to a Slayer show, he goes, it's 1985 for me again. They come screaming at me. I'm scared.
Yeah.
He goes, it's their Slayer forever.
Yeah. Scott Ian said best. He said the escalator to hell. The escalator to hell is Slayer. Rain and Blood. That album. That's playing down the escalator down to hell.
And gentleman that was listening to us from Chile, Tom, your boy, family is from Chile, so he's a Chilean.
He's Chilean.
Yeah.
Tom is a Chilean man.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Okay, now Slipknot number 7. Yeah, they should be on the list. They had a couple great albums. I don't know that I would have them ahead of Slayer, but they're top 10. Slipknot's a good band.
Like,
I would say,
Forbes is probably looking at a little bit more of the commercial viability. And Slipknot was definitely.
I would put them. I would put, like you said, top 10. Yeah, for sure.
Their first 2,
they're not above Slayer in my opinion, but
I wouldn't have above Slayer either. But
I'm biased.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm biased though.
Yeah, you are.
So
but they're when their first.
You've only seen them 19 times though.
Yeah.
When they came out, it was the heaviest, most aggressive shit I heard. They were fucking off the charts.
Yeah.
But they just didn't. Again, longevity is a thing. To me, they didn't keep the catalog going as long as Slayer and some of the others. But for 2 albums, they were kicking everyone's ass on stage.
I might give them 3 because they're the self-titled and then Iowa and then Subliminal.
Subliminal version was good.
Was okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
It's kind of like a people.
That's the one that's got duality on it.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff on that album though.
And that next you got Ozzy Osbourne as a solo act. Sure, great. But I don't know about top 6, but sure, they were, Randy Rhoads. What else needs to be said?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't put him in the top 10 personally, especially because you're going to have him, as the list shows, is the top 10 twice.
Ozzy's in the top 20, just because what he did was, they couldn't handle him anymore. He left and he created something else, and was mega successful with it. And I mean, his wife gets a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, she does.
They were more commercial friendly than Sabbath ever was.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was all.
So I mean, he created something.
Made more money off himself than Sabbath.
100%, 100%. And then even more with the Ozfests, and because that started with Sabbath reuniting.
He's the Godfather. We all know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And
well, just put Hand of Doom on by Black Sabbath, and that says it all to me. I mean, there's so many great Sabbath songs, but Hand of Doom may be my favorite.
If Ozzy's the general, the next man down is the lieutenant of metal.
Yep.
Judas Priest.
100.
The Leather Daddy.
The Leather Daddy, first guy to get gay acceptance to metal.
Yep.
He was. I mean, there was no signs of it with the assless chaps and the leather.
How would we know?
However, would you know that he was gay?
Yeah. Not that it matters.
But that Painkiller. The funny thing is, they're known for a lot of their radio hits, but Painkiller is a fucking ass whooping song, man.
Oh Jesus,
that song is ass whooping.
Dude, he's still killing it, and he's 74. He's still out there.
Yep, he's a badass.
I'll tell you. Before we go on to number 4, the other night we were Bill's got a hot tub downstairs. So after we worked, we jumped in the hot tub for a little while, and he was playing a Iron Maiden album that came out in like 2020.
Yeah.
Fucking album's great.
Was it?
I never listened to it. It's fucking. I listen and I go, dude, this kind of sounds like Bruce Dickinson, but like, a little different because he doesn't have that. His voice isn't as high. It's a little like deeper sounding, but it's still there. And he goes, yeah, dude, it's Iron Maiden. And as he says it, he lets out one of his screams, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'm like, this is really good. He goes, dude, I don't know how I just started listening to it when it came out, and I got hooked on it. I go, dude, it's really good. Like the songs are really good. I was shocked because a lot of these guys, like, they just start putting out generic, oh, we're cutting an album. Please don't. Just go with the old ones, guys. There's plenty of that out there, but this was a really good album. I encourage people to at least check it out.
Brian's got important breaking news.
Oh, sorry.
Oregon beat Ohio State.
Did they? Well, there you go.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh,
good.
Guess what? Andy just sent me a text.
Yes.
And he's got the like this, and he's like, and fuck Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ryan Day and the Will Howard, the quarterback, I believe, terrible clock management in the last closing minutes and screwed him over. The end.
Now,
let's go on to the next band.
Now, the next band, if you think about like heavy metal in your mind, like metal, and you think, like, what would it, if you were an alien? If I was going to tell an alien from space what is metal, and you wanted to get a little bit of everything that metal has to offer, it would be number 4, Pantera.
Yep.
You got the screaming. Phil can do high pitch, so he can do when he was young, he did the Priest, the Rob Halford thing. He could do the screaming. He could do the growls.
Yeah.
You got the speed, the fast drumming. You got guitar. Of course, probably the greatest all-around metal guitar player ever. Yeah, some might be better at lead, some might be better at rhythm, but doing both so well, you can make an argument Dime was the best to ever do it.
I think that's a perfect spot for them too.
Perfect. Yep, they're top 5.
Yep,
cannot deny.
Pantera.
Right Al, you met them.
Yep. I definitely put them right up there. I definitely put them right up there. Absolutely. They did something. There may have so they may have been part of a genre, but they redefined it.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of thrashy, you know, but
then they had the breakdowns.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they were definitely, they're the big part of if you go the big 4, they're part of it. They're the big 5, really. Yeah. They're in there with the other 4 for sure.
Obviously we're talking about the original lineup.
Yes.
Yeah.
The original lineup.
Not the Skinner lineup they got going on.
Not Pan Skinner that's going on.
Not Pan Skinner. Yeah.
We're every band's a Skinnerd when you become a cover band to yourself. So many people dead or no longer playing out shows anymore. That you're a cover band to yourself. You are a Skinnerd. You've been Skinnerded. Yeah. All right, the next band, probably the most famous, well-respected heavy metal band that I only sort of liked. They're not really my thing.
Sort of. Strong word.
But would I put them at 3? No. Would they be in the top 10? Yes. Iron Maiden is a top 10 metal band.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah.
I always felt like somebody like, where you don't want to, in the 50s, you didn't want to admit you were gay. I didn't want to admit I wasn't a Maiden fan to around other metalheads. I didn't want to.
I always did. When I was younger. I became a Maiden fan later. I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan of them when I was young.
Yeah.
I always liked Paul Di'Anno.
Yeah.
The first 2 albums. Yeah. But I didn't hate them because the Troopers, like, probably one of the greatest songs ever made. Like, it's such a great song. But I was not a huge fan. I became like a bigger fan later. Yeah. So
it was the thing with them. They were like, they were so clean. Their sound is so clean and everything. Yeah. It's almost like upbeat for I can't explain it.
I know what you mean.
It's not dark
It's
enough.
kind of the pop of
Yeah.
kind of the pop of heavy metal.
Yeah, and they got good brand. Yeah, they got good branding and
right.
You know, Bruce is a pilot and he's way fucking cooler than me. I get
elaborate shows,
Yeah.
shows, everything, you know. But like then you see them live and like the guy, you know, the rest of the guys are just like, you know, they got cut off sleeves and you know they just look like, you know, older guys playing, you know. So I mean, they weren't like, but their stage shows were elaborate. Their album covers were elaborate. Everything.
I think of them as there's no disrespect because I know they should be there, just based on the
legacy,
and everything. Again, I'm the same way. I think I would probably like them even less than Mike does. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah,
I get it. Run to the Hills and Trooper. That's about it for me.
They're not number 3.
You don't think they're 3?
They're not 3.
Not in my
mind.
Not.
They can't. They're not number 3.
I would put them in the top 10.
I always like Priest more. I thought Priest does what they do
better.
better.
I mean, well, when we're done, I'll give you my top 10.
When I think of Iron Maiden, I think of, and this is again no disrespect, I think of Metal's version of Spinal Tap. I really think I think of them as Spinal Tap.
Bruce Dickinson's hair.
No, it's the theatrics. Like you said, they're a little bit. They're heavy.
Nigel
Tufnell. And they rock, but they're too polished and shiny.
Yeah,
a little bit. That's in my head. I think I automatically think of Spinal Tap. When I first saw Spinal Tap, the first time I ever saw them, it wasn't even the movie. It was just them on an award show back in like the 90s.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this band? And I immediately thought of Iron Maiden.
Yep.
So that's no disrespect. I love Spinal Tap. Maybe not the music so much as the movie itself, but no, Iron Maiden for me isn't that. It isn't that.
Number 2, which I agree with them being number 2.
Yep.
I agree with 1 and 2, by the way.
1 and 2 are perfect.
But number 2 simply because they're the OGs. Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Downtune. They invented the genre. They invented the whole deal.
Yep.
They're the godfathers. They're the grandmasters of metal. They've been around longer than everybody. They're the first to do it. So yes, Black Sabbath is definitely number 2.
Yep. Another band I like more as I got older too.
Yeah.
I only knew that some of the hits, but then when you start listening to some of the other stuff, it's like shit.
I mean, when you had Ozzy and Dio, you had like 2 great singers. Just that everybody universally respects.
They did a song. They did an album with Ian Gillan from Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Born Again, and he like early Deep Purple. He could hit high notes. The early shit was all about that. I mean,
yeah.
So it's a great album too. So I mean, they did it again, and then they had another great singer in the '80s, Ray Gillan.
Yeah,
he was another powerful fucking singer, and they did a great album with. They might have did a couple albums with him, but one for sure was a really good album.
Yeah.
You know,
so Geezer Butler wrote a lot of songs. Everybody thinks Tony and
no,
but Geezer fucking was actually
another bass player who writes all the shit.
He writes a ton of shit.
Just like John Paul Jones, Robert DeLeo.
Yeah,
Paul Gray. God rest his soul. Okay. Speaking of deceased bass players.
Yeah.
The number 1 metal band of all time, and I think everybody, like one guy, I saw some channel, metal is in their fucking name.
Yep.
Metallica is the number 1 metal band ever. I agree. There's been bands that do certain things better. There's been bands that are heavier, better. Pretty much every metal band has a better drummer.
Yep.
But when you put it all together, you package it all, there is no better metal band than Metallica because their first, you know, I'll even say the Black Album was good.
I would.
But people say, you know, that's when they died. I think the Black Album was a good album.
Good album.
I think it was their bridge to death.
Yeah, it was but they had some good tunes on there. Obviously,
the ultimate in terms of the heavy sounds of metal, and also again that commercial viability, where they got radio airplay and they were popular with not just metalheads, but that was probably more about Black Album. But
yeah,
there was people that actually liked them that you wouldn't think liked them.
Yeah, my freaking Michael Jackson loving, New Kids on the Block worshiping sister.
Yeah.
Had Master of Puppets. She played that fucking.
You would have New Kids on the Block, B-52s, Michael Jackson, and Metallica in her car.
Yeah, so they're the greatest metal band of all time.
Yep.
I think most people agree. So
Alan, I don't agree.
No,
Sabbath's number one all the way.
I mean, I would if you interchange those two, I think most people would probably.
It's Sabbath, then Metallica, then Slayer.
Yeah.
No, then Pantera.
Iron Maiden's number 3.
So Pantera's 4 on your list and Forbes.
Yeah. Then Pantera, then Priest. Then Slipknot.
Agreed.
Then Korn, then System of a Down, then Iron Maiden.